This video will show you how to make interactive cloth simulations in Blender. Please watch it up to the very end. In this example, we are using this character from Mixamo.com, and I've already put a link for you to download the animated character FBX file we are using for this tutorial in the description of this video. When you open Blender, first press Delete to delete the default cube. Go to Files, then Import, and click on FBX. Browse for the FBX file you've just downloaded. Select it, then click on Import to import the file. Now you can see that we have our imported character in the 3D viewport, and if you play it you can see it walking. So expand on this timeline and reduce the frame range to 90 frames. Press Shift to then go to Mesh and add a plane. Press S to scale it up a little. Again press S then Y to scale it up along the Y. Press Shift A again and add another plane. Click on this X to go to a side view, then press G to move the plane up here, making sure that its origin is on top of the character's head. Now press S then 2.2 to scale it up by 2.2. Press Tab to go to the edit mode. Right-click then select Subdivide to subdivide the plane. Come down here to the Settings panel and click on this drop-down arrow to expand on them. Increase on the number of cuts to 42. So press A to make sure all is selected and go to Vertex, then under Hooks select Hook to New Object. Now if you press Tab to go back to the object mode, you can see that a new empty object is added to our scene. If you select it and press G to move it around, you'll see that the plane moves along with it. So select the plane and come here to the modifier properties. Click on this drop-down arrow on Falloff, then increase this radius to 1 meter. Now if you select this empty and press G then move it around, you'll see that the plane is hooked to the empty from this point. So go ahead and reduce this radius to 0.7. So all we need now is for our cloth to move along with the character. To do that, go back to the first frame and come here to the Constraints properties. Click here on Add Object Constraints, then add a child of constraint. Under Target, choose the armature. All we need is for this empty to follow this bone here, but we need to know its name so that we can specify it under bone. So select the armature and switch to the pose mode. Select this bone and read its name from here. In this case it's called Mixamo Rig 1 Head Top End. Now that you know, switch back to the object mode. Select this empty again and come back to the Constraints properties, then under Bone select Mixamo Rig 1 Head Top End. You can now see that it's parented to the bone but has an undesirable offset. To fix this, go back to the first frame and click here on Set Inverse. If you play it, you can now see that it's perfectly doing what we want. So select this plane and come to Physics properties, then add a cloth physics. Increase the quality steps to 8. Scroll down and click on this drop-down arrow on collisions, then increase on the quality to 3, then activate self collisions as well. Select this other plane and come to the Physics properties, then add a collision physics to it. Select this character's skin too and come to the Physics properties, then add a collision physics to it as well. Scroll down and increase on this friction to about 6.7. Now select this plane and come to the Physics properties, then scroll down and click on this drop-down arrow on Cache. Click here to reduce the simulation end frame to 90. Now click on Bake to bake the simulation. If you play it, you can see that our cloth is nicely interacting with the character. Now come to the modifier properties and click on Add Modifier, then Generate, then add a subdivision surface modifier. Increase the viewport levels to 2, then go to Object and Shaded Auto Smooth. Now go to the outliner and click on this drop-down arrow on armature, then disable the viewport and render visibility of this character. You can also disable the viewport visibility of the armature. And now we are done. You can now go ahead to work on your scene further in Render. Thank you so much for watching up to now, I really appreciate. If you found this video useful, please consider subscribing to this channel and hit the notification bell so that you never miss out on our latest content. Also let us know what you want us to teach you about Blender in the comments. I promise we'll make a video. Have fun animating. I sign out.